What up, y'all? Just wanted to give you a quick update on how the prep's going, life in general. The last 2 weeks have been a bit of a shit show. Um, Nothing that we can't recover from, and nothing that has changed the timeline of prep at all. Um, Last week, uh, so if you do follow me on Instagram, you may have seen me post about my tooth issues. So I had a wisdom tooth and a molar uh, extracted kind of unexpectedly last week. Um, the molar was like, not to TMI, but not to go into too much detail, but the molar was really badly infected, and probably had been for the better part of a decade. Um, so yeah, uh, needless to say, that was a bit more invasive than I had planned on. I had been getting some tooth pain, and I've had a dental abscess and just some other crap with that. So got those extracted last Tuesday, um, which meant no lifting of any kind Tuesday through Sunday. Sunday, I think I did a real light, like two exercise, maybe three exercises, like one or two sets each. Very very light loads. I still couldn't get my blood pressure up. You run the risk of getting something called dry socket, which apparently sucks real bad. So um, I didn't push anything. I mean, you could barely call it a workout. I was able to get on the elliptical and get some steps in, so that was nice. But yeah, last week was a wash training wise. We reduced the deficit a little bit. It was a bummer. I'm not gonna lie. It was a bummer because I had a great first week of prep. I felt like I had a ton of momentum. The scale had moved in my favor. Training was still going, pretty well, and then that happened. So, you know, getting pumped full of Motrin and pain meds, scale weight started to creep up a little bit. Um, Played with my mind a little bit. Having been pretty heavy in some earlier years, scale weight definitely weighs on me more than it probably should. Something I've come a long way with, but yeah, it still definitely has an impact sometimes. So I hit that low weigh in of 192.2 first week of prep, and that weight crept all the way up to 199. So back to like October, November weights. So needless to say, that was water retention from the meds. Probably some stress levels going up from being in pain, not being able to train, a little less movement, not sweating, yada yada yada. And it altered food choices a little bit. We did reduce the severity of the diet. I didn't bump up quite to maintenance calories, but we reduced the magnitude of deficit just to kind of make sure, like, hey, divert some of the some resources towards healing and get better. And then this week was the polar vortex, so it actually snowed and was icy in Texas. So that shut the city down for the first 3 days of the week. So I was relegated to bodyweight training Monday and Tuesday. I did the best I could. I was doing like marching in place to get steps in. Um, I was dieting, but food choices were a little limited based on what I had here. So I wasn't going to be too nitpicky about where the calories ended up. Um, Still going to hit my kind of weekly target as far as caloric average. The macros were a bit wonky. Got off a little bit, but you know, you just do what you can to survive the snowpocalypse. Um, and I was back to training on Wednesday. I was able to get upper body in, lower body on Thursday, and then yesterday was my first normal kind of back to my normal training routine. I hit push pull yesterday, and then arms and shoulders today, and I'll hit legs tomorrow. So we're back on track. We're coming for that 2021 contest season. Biggest objective this year is to obtain pro status in the WNBF. That would be monumental task. I am going to compete as a pro in the IPE. That'll be my first pro show, so super excited about that. And then if things go well in that WNBF show and we can make that turn towards WNBF Worlds, that would be baller. So yeah, we're timeline still on track. Scale weight is still a little elevated because I actually have to probably get more dental work done on Monday, which means not necessarily more time out of the gym, but it does mean I'll be pumped full of painkillers probably for another couple days. So you take those weigh-ins with a grain of salt. Diet should be normal come Monday, and back to the original grind, doing the damn thing. In spite of it all, we've still made progress. Not necessarily on the scale, and visually don't necessarily see much change right now either. But I was in a deficit. I was able to get back active, and there were some mental wins along the way of being able to pull myself out of the scale depression, and to keep my eyes on the prize, and that's a big, especially when you prep for a long time, you can't have that gas pedal down the whole time. You got to think of things on a spectrum and not necessarily flip the switch on or off. Gradually increasing in intensity as you need it, dialing it back when you need it. I like to use the term selective efficiency. Sometimes you need to be purposefully inefficient. Sometimes you need to, make sure you've got reserves and that you're making sure you conserve your energy. So you just, with time and experience and with the help of a knowledgeable coach, when to push, when to pull back. And that's kind of the key, the secret towards getting high levels of conditioning and any goal that you're shooting for, just achieving that. So, I've talked enough. This was a good week. Not the week I expected, but a good week nonetheless. Progress was made, and we're heading into week 4 next week. So I'll catch y'all on the next one. Appreciate you tuning in. Take care.